Most traders don't actually know that their trading strategy works. They just feel like it does, or they were told this is going to work from somebody else. They take a few trades, some are good, some are bad. Maybe they make a tweak, then they repeat the process over and over and over. But there's no real data behind it. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can take any trading idea, even something that you just thought of today, ChatGPT to turn it into a fully backtestable strategy on TradingView. By the end of this video, you're going to have actual performance data, win rate, drawdown, profit factor, Sharpe ratios, did it beat the buy and hold, essentially everything that you need to know to see if you actually have an edge or not with this strategy. And then once we have something that looks solid, I'll show you how you can take that strategy and you can automate it so it'll execute the trades for you without you having to be at the desk or on your phone. You do not need to have coding experience. I'm going to walk through everything step by step. All right, we are locked and loaded, ready to go into ChatGPT. We do not need to have a paid version of ChatGPT to do this. You actually can do it for free, but if you have a paid version, cool. Doesn't really matter. I've got mine currently in the standard thinking effort mode. You can set it to extended if you wanted to. I'm currently on the thinking instead of the instant. Ultimately, I've done this multiple ways and I haven't noticed a massive difference. Although logically speaking, you would think that putting it onto a thinking mode or an extended thinking effort mode would only lead to better results. But I haven't noticed a massive difference for the sake of what we're doing. The more complex you want to get, probably the more important. So what we're going to start with here is we're going to prompt ChatGPT to create us code in PineScript that we can essentially just copy and paste into TradingView. So here's what I wrote. I said, create a PineScript code for TradingView strategy that I can copy and paste. And then I went ahead and I outlined the strategy that I had in mind. I'm going to click on this right here and just send this off and see what ChatGPT gives me. This one could be a bit more complex. You can make these super simple. I did add a couple things that I'm not sure exactly what it's going to give me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the code, plug it over on TradingView, and then we'll just see what we get and we can adjust it from there. So as you can see, it has now been writing the code up. I can scroll through the code and then I can copy the code right here. We have a couple important notes, which I can dive into later, and then it tells me what the script does. It even gives you a way to kind of improve or add to the strategy if you wanted to. So this is something we can add in later if we want, but I'm only going to come back to this if I feel like I want to. So now I go over to TradingView and I'm going to go over to the Pine editor, which is this little icon right here on the right hand side. They may move this around, but look for the Pine editor. And right now it's this little pine tree icon. Pull this up and I'm just going to paste over what I have here. And I'm going to now add in the new code that I just got from ChatGPT, which is 101 lines. I'm going to leave it untitled, but I'm going to click on add to chart first. Okay, so we can see we have an error right here. What I'm going to do on this error is I'm just going to copy the error at the bottom of my screen. And I'm going to bring this back to ChatGPT and I'm just going to paste the error right in. It's now going to rewrite the code to fix the error, tell me what it did, and then I'm going to copy this code and bring it right back over to TradingView. Once I've got the new code, I'm going to just copy and paste over the old one, click refresh, and boom, it is now compiling up on the chart. I'm going to click on rename this script. I'll leave it as horizontal breakout and breakdown strategy. Click on save. And this way now I just have it inside of here so I can get rid of this and I can always pull this up if I want to. I'm gonna click on the X. I have my watch list of my main kind of players on the right-hand side, but I'm now looking over here on the left and I'm seeing how the backtest and the results of this trading strategy have panned out over time. So we notice right now is that we're looking at ETH versus the US dollar. And we can see that it has a really high profit factor. It's profitable almost 41% at the time. And it had a max drawdown of 6.94 with a 94% P&L. But if I scroll down on the backtest here inside of TradingView, what I'm going to realize is that I get more stats, but if I look at the strategy performance versus the buy and hold, it's not even close because the buy and hold return here was up 349,000% since the beginning of this backtest, which goes back to August 6, 2015. When we are comparing these things, we need to make sure we understand that if we have something that's been going up all the time, and then we take a strategy and it's profitable, it may still not have beaten the buy and hold dating back to the time that we start. So here's where things get a bit more tricky. But what I can also do is I can just zoom this into the past maybe 365 days and see how it performed. We can see we've got 5 total trades, and over the past 365 days, the strategy is up 25% roughly, and the buy and hold return is down 21. So it's actually making money where the buy and hold isn't. I'm gonna jump over to SPY and see how this would have traded if we played SPY. Click on update the report at the bottom, and it's going to update the backtest based on the new stock on our chart. So now we can see that this trading SPY, not nearly as good, but we haven't even looked at the settings. So now I'm gonna pull the settings up and we'll see how this all looks. Inside of the horizontal breakout strategy that I have right here, I can go into the settings, and then I can now customize the long filter, the short filter, the touch tolerance, minimum touch points, look back for levels, properties, etc., etc. The list can kind of keep going on and on. I have it set to on bar close. I like that just from a backtesting perspective. I can actually add commissions here if I wanted to, slippage and all that. I'm going to jump back to how we are trading this. And so instead of trading with a default order size of 1, meaning it's going to buy 1 share of SPY every time it trades, I'm going to jump in and go to percent of equity. And let's go with 100%, meaning I'm essentially going in with the entire account size. And so let's say that I start with an account size of $1,000. Now I can see how that $1,000 would be playing out over time with this strategy and if it has a decent edge. So let's see how this looks. I zoom this thing out. It's going back to 2015, and we can see that it's up 17% with a max drawdown of 18.09, which really isn't that good because if we were to go back to 2017 on SPY, the buy and hold return is 176%. So we're not beating that. So now I'm just messing around on different time frames, different assets to see how these charts change depending upon the asset I'm looking at. And once I see something that starts to interest me, I'll start to dial the settings in a bit more. Okay, so I've got to this point here. I don't love this. Decently high drawdown. It did make 400%, don't get me wrong, but it's going back to 1993, and we're talking about 30% or less profitable trades, and there's only 52 trades, so it's not a huge sample size. So what I'm doing is I'm going back to ChatGPT, and I'm actually taking it up on its offer to improve the strategy that it gave me earlier. So I'm going to go and play with that and see what happens. Okay, so I'm pasting in the new one. It's saved. This is looking a bit better. We have more profitable trades. The profit factor isn't as high. I understand that. But I kind of like this slow equity curve that's kind of pushing to the upside. The other one was just not as consistent. There just wasn't many trades. Now we've got a lot more we can customize. And so here's where we can really play with the settings and change things quite a bit. Okay, so I've changed the date range going back to 2010. We've got 75 trades, over 50% profitable with a profit factor of 2.014. Now, the problem is that we're going to see here with this strategy, it is trading SPY. And if we scroll down again, we are still not going to beat the buy and hold because the buy and hold is up 500% since that time frame. And this is only up 50%. I've messed around with some different time frames. I've got us now to the 1 hour time frame on SPY. And this is traded quite a bit. So our profit factor has dropped down, but I do kind of like this slope of the equity curve. So let's just stop here because I think it's a good place to kind of see, okay, we've made some adjustments. We've improved it a little bit. Is it the best? No. Does it beat the buy and hold? No, not in this case. But from a strategy that I just made by prompting ChatGPT in a few minutes, I will start here. But this is where you can really customize the settings, go back and forth, try different things. And I absolutely encourage you to do so because sometimes simple strategies can work, don't get me wrong, but ultimately what's going on in your head and what you're thinking and what you're finding might make sense to you, not somebody else, and you have the full customization and the full control to go and create that now. Now, you can do this all in TradingView with a free plan. The backtesting, you may not be able to go back very far unless you have an updated version or a paid version of TradingView that has the deep backtesting feature. But now the next step here is how we automate this with our own broker. Because now what we can do is we can obviously look at the entire back test. It's great, but we can pull our strategy up underneath this little drop down menu where our indicators usually are on our chart, go all the way over to the 3 dots where it says more, and then click on add alert on this pivot breakout breakdown strategy. So what I'm going to do is now I can create an alert that's going to signal me, hey, the strategy just fired, long, short, open, close the position, and then I can go and make the trade on my own broker if I want to. But we're going to take it a step further and actually automate this with our broker so that when these trades fire, we don't do anything. They're going to be taken for us. So we can sit back, make new strategies, work on other things, and let this take care of itself. This way, there's no human error. There's really no emotions. And the main limiter here is going to be your strategy just not working and not being profitable. Not you, not the operator who's operating the strategy. I'm going to leave mine to open-ended, which will not expire. I believe you'll have to have a higher plan of TradingView to do that. If not, you'll have to come back and continuously just make sure you update the alerts that it doesn't expire or it stays active. Then underneath the message, here's what we're going to have to go customize. I'm going to get rid of this right here. I'm going to name the alert. I'll call it Pivot Breakout. Then we'll go to the notifications and we'll click on Notify in App. and then the webhook URL. This is gonna be very, very important, and I'm now gonna tell you what to do next. So you can see an example of a trading bot that I've built inside of AlphaInsider, where I have trading strategies that I have look like this, where we can see the trades being taken. This one's currently not doing very well as of late, but the market's been pretty volatile. But what I need to do is I need to go to my portfolio, click on new strategy, name the strategy. I'm actually going to name it the exact same thing. Pivot breakout. I can add a description if I wanted to. And what I also could do is go back to that Pine script code. And then once I'm happy with my script in the Pine editor, I can actually publish the script if I want. This is going to publish it live on TradingView. And then I can put the link to the script inside of this description on AlphaInsider. So if I want to share it with people, people can actually come to this strategy on AlphaInsider and then see the exact source code, go and use it themselves, or go customize it for themselves if they want to make adjustments to it, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put a hypothetical starting balance of $1,000 just so we can track the strategy over time. Doesn't mean that we're going to be using $1,000. And then because the strategy trades SPY, I'm going to keep it as a stock strategy, and then I'll leave it as public, but I could make it private if I wanted to. That means no one can see my strategy. I can see my strategy. I can automate my strategy, but no one else can. Click on create, and now you'll have a page that looks just like this. And you can do all this for free with an AlphaInsider account that I will leave a link to AlphaInsider, like always, in the description box of our videos. If we go down to the bottom, I'm going to go down to the resources section right here. And now I'm going to go to where it says connect to TradingView. It's going to give us a step-by-step walkthrough of what we need to do. So the first thing we're going to grab is this URL, which is the webhook URL. So now I go back to TradingView. Remember we had this little notification section where it said webhook. I'm going to paste the webhook URL inside of there, leave my notification on. I'll click on apply. So that's good for now. Now I got to go down to the message and then go back to AlphaInsider on this page. And here is the message we're going to copy, and we're going to paste that right inside of TradingView. If we read through here, there are a couple things we'll have to make some adjustments to. So the first thing will be the strategy ID. Well, because we already made the strategy on this page, we have the strategy ID, which is up in the top. If we go to the 1 year time frame on our performance graph, it is the letters or the numbers and characters after the slash. So I'm going to grab the strategy ID right here. So we can see alphainsider.com/strategy/ and then that is the strategy ID after the final slash. Grab that. I'm going to paste that inside of the quotes in place of strategy ID. Now we need the stock ID. That is the next piece. We'll go down into here. This strategy trades SPY. So we'll go back to this page and we'll go to the new order under trade timeline and we'll type in SPY. We will see SPY:NYSE. That is the stock ID. So we have the ticker symbol, we have the description of what it is, and then we have the stock ID is the third line. Copy that, do the exact same thing, place that inside the quotes here where it says stock ID. Make sure our quotes are at the beginning and the end, and we've got a comma after the final quote. We're good there. Action, nothing to do here. Then there'll be a leverage option. We can actually go up to 2 here. I'm going to leave it as 1. I could actually set leverage later inside my trading bot as well. And then the final piece will be the API token. We'll come back to AlphaInsider and it will tell us API token on the developer settings page. So I'll click on that right there. I've actually got a couple of API tokens already. I'm going to use one that I already have, so I don't need to do this. But if you want to create a new one, I would make one, call it TradingView, call it whatever you want, and then save the API token so you can use it for future trading strategies if you want to keep doing this. All you're going to have to do in this case, in this scenario where you're taking a TradingView alert and you're bringing it over to AlphaInsider so you can automate your trades, is name it and then click on TradingView. So I'll click on this, I'll name this TradingView, and then click on TradingView, and it will give you the permissions that you need. So you don't have to do anything else. That's it. Now, if you go inside of here, you start clicking on some stuff and it starts messing the numbers around, click on Clear All, and then just click on TradingView again, and you'll have the permissions you need. To show you what those are really quick, it's inside of here under trades, we have new order allocations, and under webhooks, we have new order webhook. That's it. There's no withdrawal permissions, nothing. That's all you need to do. You'll enter your current password for AlphaInsider, and then you're going to paste the API token inside right here. It's going to be a long token, so make sure you have the quote at the beginning and the quote at the end, and then the bracket to finish things off. Once you've got that, click on apply. And now I can actually go and click create. Once I click on create, I'll go to the top right of my TradingView, go to the alerts. You'll see the pivot breakout alert. It is active, which means we're good to go. And now anytime it takes a trade, I will see the trades populate inside of this trading strategy here on AlphaInsider. I should also note going this far into creating these webhooks on TradingView will require a paid version or a paid plan of TradingView. So it's not a completely free option if you wanted to go this far. But if you use deep backtesting and you do this a lot and you create a lot of strategies, it could definitely be worth it. Now, when I'm back here, what I could do is I could let this play out over time. And that's essentially how every trading strategy on AlphaInsider works. We are seeing how these trading strategies are actually trading in real time. So every trade, every little dot that's firing is a trade being logged on AlphaInsider, and we get to see it tracked by a third party. So it's not like someone can go in and edit the trades, and we get to see how the strategies actually are playing out. So this removes a lot of the he said, she said. It removes a lot of the gurus who are trying to sell you and scam you on trading strategies or their strategy, all this different stuff. You get to see how it actually trades. So now what you can do is you can either watch your strategy over time before you ever automate it, or if you feel comfortable, you've done a back test and you're like, hey, I like the strategy, I want to start trading it right now. All you have to do is go back down to your portfolio, find your strategy, and click on the auto trade button in the top right, or open up the strategy main page and then click on auto trade. Because it's a stock strategy, you will have the option to connect to an Alpaca brokerage account. You can actually put in a paper account first, which I would recommend for those of you starting out. And that's what the vast majority of people who begin on AlphaInsider do. They actually create a paper trading Alpaca account for their stock strategies. This way they can add a bunch of strategies in, and then they can watch how the bot trades live over time. And then once they're comfortable, they can go and create a live Alpaca account where now they're trading with their own live funds. When you do this, you just need to make sure that you're trading a separate account and you're not trading an account that you're manually trading on the side, because it will get thrown off. And when you do take trades, when the trading bot rebalances your positions based off of what is currently inside of your trading bot, what strategies you're running, it will eliminate any manual trades that are not familiar to it, that you've been maybe taking on the side that potentially could be left in the account. Not the end of the world, but just to make sure you're aware. So in my case, I've actually already got a paper bot set up right here. So I'll click on that. I'll open this up. And then if it is a brand new one, what you'll have is nothing. And so you'll have your main strategy, and you can click 100% allocation to it if you would like to, or you can then add other strategies by searching your subscription tab or your own portfolio, which allows you to create something like this, where you can split up your allocations so that your trading strategy and your trading bot is not all loaded into just one thing. So you might have a breakout strategy, you might have a dip buy strategy, you might have a strategy that does really, really well in choppy conditions. So this way you're kind of diversifying your trading bot so that you're not all overloaded and super, super heavy on one thing. And what if we go into a choppy environment and the breakout strategy is not working very well, you can get screwed, or you can be down a lot more. This way you can kind of blend it. And so think of it now as like blending and diversifying a stock portfolio or an investment portfolio, but now you're diversifying a trading bot with different trading strategies. Once you do that, you'll get to a page that looks like this. If your bot is off, this button will be red. You'll click on the button, it'll turn green, and we will schedule a rebalance, which means it's now going to rebalance based on open positions inside of your trading strategies. Market's been pretty rocky as of late with what's going on based off the war and everything. So we're not doing too well, but it also offers an opportunity for me now to look at my portfolio and say, okay, what is doing really well right now? Or are there strategies that I can go and find that are doing well? Or can I go create one that's doing well to diversify myself for a time like this in the future? And now I can go ahead and do that. And I've got the data on my side to make those decisions. So that is how this works in a nutshell. We used ChatGPT to create PineScript code. We brought that into TradingView. We back tested it. We got somewhat satisfied with the results. Then we took that back test. We created an alert. So now every time that alert or this strategy fires, it's now going to send it over to AlphaInsider. AlphaInsider is going to match the trades, and then it's going to now automatically take them and put them into my paper trading bot on Alpaca, literally within seconds of the alert firing on TradingView. No more manual entry. You can truly set this thing up once and then let it take all the trades for you. If you have any questions, any thoughts, comments, concerns, leave them down below in the comment section. We can answer them. Again, links to AlphaInsider will be down below. This is not completely free to be done on TradingView, but you can bootstrap it to start. And then on AlphaInsider, your first automation is free. So you don't have to worry about paying AlphaInsider to test things out, You can create your first automated strategy for free. And then you can even use a paper trading Alpaca account to test things out. Or if you go the crypto route, use a broker like Hyperliquid, which will allow you to start with as little as $100. So there's not a lot of risk on your part. There's also a lot of highway exits along this video. So once you kind of got to a point where you're satisfied and you're like, oh, I don't really need to go that far. Totally fine. You got what you needed and you got out of here. Hope that was helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.